Over at the lower house, plenary debates on the BBL may be held in early May. However, this will depend on the recommendation of the ad hoc committee on the BBL. Again, here's Freddie Abando.
Plenary debates for the proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law is expected to start by the time Congress resumes sessions in early May. This will depend on the outcome of the deliberations of the House Ad Hoc Committee on the Bangsamoro chaired by Congressman Rufus Rodriguez, which will reconvene in late April to finalize the draft bill. The Mamnasapano incident led to the suspension of the deliberations. The 75-man committee, composed mainly of congressmen from Mindanao, were supportive of the measure to implement the president's commitment to win the peace in the conflict areas of Mindanao.
Is it just the the members of the ad hoc that will decide? It's a resolution, no? So, what they're having signed. So I guess it has to have the approval of the House, because it's a resolution. We have people who are in favor and people who are not in favor, and we respect the minority if they are not in favor. But as I mentioned earlier, we in the majority believe that it is essential that we move on and get the BBL approved at the soonest possible time.
The Rodriguez Committee is expected to review provisions of the draft law which may be challenged for their constitutionality. House Defense Committee Chairman on National Defense, Congressman Rodolfo Biazon, is pushing for a review of the normalization process, the demobilization of MILF forces, the creation of a Bangsamoro police, and the establishment of a Bangsamoro command of the AFP, since all these are tied up to the country's national security. Other key concerns are the creations of an internal audit, a civil service commission, a Bangsa Comelec, human rights, and the Ombudsman. House Majority Leader Natalie Gonzalez stressed all these concerns will be addressed by the Rodriguez Committee.
There's no way that the BBL will be reported out in its original draft ng BBL. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of adjustments. Particularly so dahil ngayon marami nang interesado sa naantig na yung lahat ng mga interest ng mga members of the House, particularly in the so-called provisions which are doubtful in constitutionality, legality. So yun mawawala. Ang magiging question na lang later dito is because yung mga pronouncement naman ng mga MILF na they will not accept an amended BBL, then obviously there's going to be an amended BBL.
In the meantime, Budget Secretary Butchabad stressed winning the peace in Mindanao will be a major boost for the entire country. Peace which will lead to addressing the root cause of the rebellion, which is poverty. Since the current autonomous region of Muslim Mindanao, which will be transformed to the new Bangsamoro entity, pales in development compared to the other regions in the country. Abad added it has all the potentials to be one of the major growth centers.
If there is a perception of stability and order in Mindanao, we will be able to disperse that growth, because Mindanao is rich in agricultural as well as other resources that the economy can benefit from. So definitely there is no doubt that peace in Mindanao will contribute economically to further expanding the growth in this country. Plus the general perception that we as a society can govern ourselves peacefully, that we can settle social conflicts reasonably.
For the People's Television Network, this is Freddie Abando reporting.